In the next 2 lessons, I'm gonna add some effects to the animation to give it a moodier feel and be more pleasing to the eye. So let's start by adding a texture to the shade. Let's begin with an effect on the character's shadow. Create a new solid, the color doesn't matter, and I'll name it texture. Go to the shape tool and drag it over the new solid. And it will make a mask, which we need for the effect we're going to be using. Add the scribble effect. Now go to the shade layer and make sure you see the track map parameter. If you can't see it, you can switch the mode right here at the toggle button. Now click on the arrow and choose Alpha Inverted Matte. And the effect is only shown inside of the shade. You see here it gives kind of a comic book drawing effect on the shaded area. Now I'm going to change some of the values on this effect to make it more subtle. I can just click on the number and change the value with up and down key. So I'll make a smaller stroke and just change the percentage of these different values to whatever I prefer this time. There's no magic formula. It all has to do with your own taste, or with whatever you think looks good. And let's see what this looks like. Now I'm going to animate this effect with the end parameter, so the effect appears and vanishes as the light sweeps across. I'll start at 0, click the stopwatch to make a key, then move the playhead to where the light is at its top point and change it to 100. Then here in the middle, I'll make the 100% hold for a few frames, then go to the end and set it to 0 again. Now the scribble effect isn't visible when the character is completely shaded. And now a small detail. I want the scribble to change its angle at the middle point. So I need to go to the angle value, and I'll set a keyframe at 60 degrees. Then I'll set a keyframe a few frames forward and change it to 120 degrees. This makes the scribble lines follow the same angle as the light. It's barely noticeable, but I like the look of it. I'm going to place the same effect to the shadow moving beneath the character. I can do that by copying the effect we just made and paste it onto the shadow layer. So make sure the playhead is at the very beginning of the timeline. Then go to the scribble effect in the texture layer. Copy the effect with Ctrl-C and go to the shadow layer and paste it with Ctrl-V. The effect can't be viewed unless it's on a mask, so I'll go to the shape tool. Make sure the tool Create Mask is checked and have the mask cover the shadow. Now go to the effect and set it to Mask 1. Now the effect is visible, but it doesn't look like we want it to. I'm changing the color to black and scrolling down and choosing Reveal Original Image. Now this way of placing the effect is kind of inverted to the last method. So we have to change the values if we want it to look similar to the shade texture. I did it this way now just to show you that there's usually multiple ways we can make and use effects in After Effects. Now let's see how this turned out. I like how it looks. I like that it dissolves when exiting the scene, kind of like the threads are untangling. Now we're done animating and texturing the shade, and we'll move on to the background.